sports fans, Coach Nick here, and we have another court call edition with Ronnie Nunn. It's a special Passover edition, I suppose, where we'll let all the bad spirits and bad calls pass right over our computers and screens. Ronnie, are you ready to drop some serious knowledge on us today?
I'm willing to do it. And I guess we have to also call in Easter at this time, Good Friday and Easter, which is a combination. And by the way, for the same reason, Passover.
Absolutely. All the same theme of either perhaps forgiving the refs for making a bad call or for offering them kudos for seeing it in the face of hostile crowds. Let's break right into it, shall we? We have a game between the Phoenix Suns and Dallas Mavericks, a really exciting end to our season with these teams. And Dirk Nowitzki comes off of a down screen and it kind of falls down, and P.J. Tucker gets whistled. What do you think? Was this a good call?
You know, this was a guess. And officials, I want to give a credit to the officials in one regard. Almost 99% of the time when a player goes to the floor, he's usually tripped. It's not often anyone trips over there. I mean, the percentage is very low that you trip over your own feet. But I think in this case, you're not sure. There's no harm done on this play. There's no backdoor. There's no play on a pass where the guy couldn't get to the ball on a pass. I think if you're not sure on something like this, of course on anything if you're not sure, you don't blow the whistle. So he went with the fact that, you know, I'm going to lay my money down, if you excuse the expression, on this situation, meaning a trip usually is to be tripped. When somebody goes to the floor, they are tripped. And in this case, he wasn't. He tripped on his own man. So it's not good to play the percentages. It's good to play what you see. Take your time, read a videotape it, and make the call. This was just a guess and not a good one.
Right. So you're thinking that in theory, because Monte didn't throw it, there was no change of possession, that could have just been play on. He could have just swung the ball the other way, and you know it wouldn't have harmed either team.
Yeah, because of the fact that it wasn't clear to him. Now, if the same thing existed and he was tripped, you know, as a fouler, you know, against Nowitzki, that should be called regardless. But when you're not sure, because it's obviously he's not sure, he was fooled by the play, don't call it. And there was no, I hate to use the word advantage, but because I don't believe in advantage, I believe in what the play is. And if it's more than marginal, it should be called. This is kind of a marginal, unclear situation. Let it go. There is nothing to be gained by this play except putting a focus on us, the referee.
Well, let's move on to our next call, which is the Timberwolves versus the Warriors. And we've seen Kevin Love make incredible full-court outlet passes to Corey Brewer for layups. It's very exciting to watch. He tried to do it on a make, and they called it, actually, that he wasn't out of bounds enough, I suppose, to make this call. I think you're going to startle us with some serious knowledge here because I don't know if anybody really knows that rule. So, Ronnie, break this one down for us.
Well, you know, basketball first started out with a lot of breaking the plane. If you break the plane, you know, from the free throw line, from the lane lines extended on a free throw, on a throw-in, as we're discussing now, it was a violation. But the NBA has softened that rule into saying if there's not defensive pressure, then that plane being broken in that manner has no place. And there isn't defensive pressure here. The problem is if you put your foot down onto the playing court prior to releasing the ball, that's the violation. If you shoot a free throw and you get your foot down before the release on the other side of the free throw line, that's the violation. So on this play, it's really, does he release it in time prior to with the foot going down? Very, very tight. But you want to know something? I'd like to call because it's just too obvious to split hairs on, and it's too obvious to let go. And so I like the call being a wake-up call for the players.
Wow. So you could be in that position with only 1 foot out of bounds, the other foot up in the air past the plane, and as long as it's not touching the ground on the release, that's a legal play. That's
a legal play. However, now if there was defensive pressure on the thrower in and he did that, that would be a violation for breaking the plane on defensive pressure.
And kids, don't forget, when you inbound the ball, you never want to be under the basket when you do that because the basket gets in the way. So just another little fundamental tip for you there. Let's move on to our next clip, which is the Joakim Noah gets a foul called on him when Raymond Felton goes to the hoop. It's a two-parter because The foul seemed pretty dubious, and then on the missed free throw, Noah claps his hands and says the phrase, "Ball don't lie," which triggered a technical foul. Ronnie, walk us through the sequence here and let us know what you think, how this played out.
Well, you know, I don't like the call because even though Noah is moving a little laterally, he is very vertical. His arm onto Felton is not a push-off. It's a stationary arm. It's not extended. It's in a good place. Their contact here is simply, as it's seen to all of us, marginal. Now, what I don't like is we have these, I think there's been a propensity of the officials from distances to make this a primary call. When I say a primary call is you're going into another official's territory or zone where he's reading this play, and you're taking this play immediately on the same cadence he would take it because it's his play. Or if you're going to come and reach a distance, you want to have an extra cadence to your count so you know for sure that you've got it and he didn't get it. And in this case, the play is too marginal, too unnecessary, and he's going after that play because there is some teaching about going after plays to the hoop from the trail position, and that's the official that's supposed to be furthest away on the strong side. And this is what gets officials in trouble. You can't do that. There's still a cadence to call selectivity, and let the guy on the bottom of our screen, the slot official and the lead official at the hoop, let them be the judge of this play primarily. If it's a banger where no one calls it, you say, hey, I got to blow the whistle, guys. We cannot let that go. That's not good for the crew. I'm all for that call. But this cadence is right on in the swing wheel of both those officials that are responsible. We don't need it. With respect to the ball don't lie, which you were talking about on the free throw line, now this came from Rasheed Wallace. And one time, of course, he was upset about a call, and the first free throw was missed, as it is in this case. And Rasheed said, ball don't lie, to give justification to the fact that, you know, the gods above or whatever have you proved him innocent. Okay, and this is the same situation. Now, what happened in that situation with Rasheed set a tone that every time a player says that after he was fouled, it becomes a technical foul because the official at that time gave Rasheed a technical. You know, if you referee in the United States off an NBA court, maybe off a college court, guys say little things. That to me is really nothing. It's not a profane statement. It's not something that really undermines the official. It's for the player himself to feel good about it and let them know that, you see, it didn't go in because I really didn't foul him. And it's just like a guy saying, I didn't foul him, man. You know, so I don't see anything in that. I'm sorry that this has gained momentum and people are justifying it, especially as staff. And I will never approve of this kind of play. Not after working with players that, if basketball has an emotional piece to it, some things are going to be said. This is not something to address as an official when you're managing people and managing the game based on call selectivity.
Well, good points all. And let's talk about our last clip, which is a thriller. Denver versus Golden State, a shocking thriller because you would have thought at this point in the season Denver would be laying down, but they fought tough. And Kenneth Faried gets the inbounds pass, goes to the hoop, makes a nice little basket, but the question is did he travel before he released the ball on the game winner? Ronnie, what do you see here?
Well, you know, this is a tweener play based on when the ball was gathered on this drive. And for the most part, for me, I see this as a, you know, basketball in gathering a ball from a dribble is really kind of a dance. It's kind of a dance step. And certainly you can't hop on it, and he doesn't. He has a dribble when he spins. But when he gathers the ball, he's in between 2 feet. He has the first foot that someone would call an early gather, and then he's got the second one, his right foot, which would be the second foot in the gather. And I see this play as a rhythm play, meaning the second foot is really the gather foot, which is his right. And then when you gather, you have 2 steps coming to you, a left and right, and he goes to a jump shot, you know, a curl jump shot. So I feel this play is a good play that we did not call, and I'm hoping that the officials see certain things in the rhythm of and cadence of movement that when it's that tight, you have to consider the second foot as really the gather foot. If it's really a distance where it's clearly grabbed by the first foot, making that's definitely the gather foot, then he's taking 3 steps. I don't see that, and I don't think officials should look at that play other than cadence and rhythm like a dance. And unless there's a hop on the same foot, that would be the travel. There's no question. There's a lot of hops on that spin, but not in this case because there was a dribble in it.
And let's just face it, it's a tough shot that he hit. So I give him all the props in the world for even making that shot and getting it off. So, you know, I'm sure he'll continue to improve that footwork and make it smoother. But, yeah, I think we can both agree that that was ended up being a real prudent non-call and letting the players decide the game and all that stuff. So, great stuff, and more learning going on again with the whole inbound stuff, which is really exciting to me. We have some traveling things happening this next week, so I'll have to figure out if we can get our next show in next week. But I can tell you, we'll have some great stuff for the playoffs, Ronnie, and we'll probably even do our best to do some one-offs at the time that they happen.
Yeah, I think if we have outstanding situations that we can bring to our audience, we should do so. And you're a point guy on that, Coach. So you'll see things that will affect the game from that standpoint. And the fans really lend themselves to your thinking, as they should. It's the officiating that begins to draw the lines in the sand on this. And that's what I'm here for as well. Not to mention the fact that a little basketball background in my own vein helps really satisfy some of these things and not let people get carried away. So I think the playoffs are really going to be really interesting, and there'll be a lot of noise from our fans on things and a lot of things to accept as an error, but probably mostly for things that we can applaud for good decision making by the officiating staff.
Absolutely, and I know that the discussion that we've been having throughout the season has gotten more and more intelligent as the fans have learned more and more from you and what we've been breaking these things down. So it's been a fantastic ride so far. Looking forward to doing a lot more as the playoffs progress. And don't forget, tweet us out a call that you don't agree with or you want more clarification with, and use that hashtag #CourtCall so we can find it easily. And don't forget, at B-Ball Breakdown and Court Call, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in?
I'm in, Coach. I'm looking forward to it.